Welcome to Modo di Bere, the podcast about local drinks and local sayings. I'm your host, Rose Thomas Bannister.
Arriba, pa' abajo, pa'l centro y pa' dentro.
Hodala. Hodala means button up. Don't leave any drinks, in your glass.
Up high.
Okay.
Laba.
Laba.
Down low. Don't rub yet. You gotta wait for the rub. And then saglis.
Saglis.
I travel around the world collecting drinking sayings, and yes, it's a fantastic job. After a while, you start to notice some patterns. The three phrases you just heard are in Spanish, a northern Taiwanese dialect, and French, and they are all toasts that come with a ritualized motion, like kids on the playground playing patty cake, except with special drinks. Sticking your glass out in front of you, up in the air, down towards your belly button, and then emptying it into your face. Tilting your head back and drinking your cup to the dregs. And for the French saying, clinking the tops of your glasses, then the bottoms, then rubbing the sides of your glasses together. The last word in that phrase means slippery. My name is Rose Thomas Bannister. I'm a wine writer and a student of languages, especially the local tongues that the big languages like to call dialects. I interview people about local drinks and local sayings on the Modo di Bere podcast and the travel show Modo di Bere TV, available on YouTube at MODODIBERE. Modo di Bere means way of drinking. It's my Italian pun on the word for a saying, modo di dire, way of saying. During my decade-plus career selling Italian wine, I became enamored with Italy's biodiversity, its vast array of indigenous wine grapes, and its linguistic diversity, each town speaking its own language, which may or may not be understood the next town over. The local grapes and the local so-called dialects have not always been appreciated by the homogenizing forces of the global market and the major languages we use in business, education, and getting taken seriously by the popular kids. But just like the quirky kids who may be undersung during high school, variety is valuable. As the climate warms, once misunderstood indigenous grapes might hold the key to the survival of wine itself. And as language gets sanded down to the most homogeneous common denominator, like an AI-generated image of a mean girl flat-ironing her hair, what's lost is the essential verve and creativity that make us human. Creativity like the kind we let loose when we meet up for a drink in our third place, not at work, not at home, but that place where we gather to relax with our friends and write poetry about drinks. I had the chance to travel to Italy in the fall of 2023 to make a regional wine documentary, and I chose the toe of the boot, Calabria. Yes, because I love the wine, but also because my Instagram video of winemaker Vincenzo Ippolito explaining Calabrian rhyming toasts got picked up by some Calabrian accounts and became Modo di Bere's most viewed reel to date. We simply had to follow the love straight to Ciro, home of delicious red wines made from the local variety Galliopo. Here's Vincenzo on the southern Italian custom of toasting by writing a little poem with your friend's name.
What's your name?
Rosa.
Let me do something with the Rosa. Questo vino ne spara ma posa, brindisi faccio all'amica Rosa.
In the way we strike a pose, so we raise a glass to Rose. Up north in the city of Padua, my friend Davide learned a drinking song from his grandma. He asked me to diffuse it everywhere, so I'll let him sing it to you.
Alziamo il bicchiere, facciamo cin cin, brindiam, 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 tutto il mondo fa cin cin, sollevando un bicchiere di vino, cin cin.
We raise a glass, we make a toast, 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 the whole world makes a toast, raising a glass of wine. Yes, the world is full of toasts. To good cheer, good health, and long life. Salud, salute, l'chaim. The European toast chin chin is easy to say and reminds me of the sound of clinking glasses. But if you want to get a little more creative, look around the world with me for toasts with motion, rhymes, and even songs by listening to the Modo di Bere podcast, available in English and Italian. Just search Modo di Bere podcast on your favorite podcast player or on YouTube, where visual episodes are now available. I bring amazing guests on the show who have a lot to say about local drinks and local sayings. Do you have a local toast to share? Send me a note via my website at mododibere.com, where you can also grab my newsletter, Modo di Bere Mag. And don't forget to support the show on Patreon so that we can continue this work, making connections between biodiversity and linguistic diversity. Support us on Patreon. Grab the newsletter at mododibere.com. And subscribe to the YouTube channel at Modo di Bere to watch the travel show, Modo di Bere TV. Music for the show was composed by Ercilia Prosperi for the band Oh. Purchase their music at the link in the notes.